Boys and Ghouls film review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing this independent film called Never Hike Alone, which is an independent film made by people who are like the Friday the 13th
It's a fan film. It's a fan-based film. Do you want me to say his name? It's a bit hard.
Yeah, say his name would be good.
Like the guy who's I think he's written it with some other people. He's directed it. He's acted in it, and he's also a producer. His name is Vincent DeSanti. And guess which role he plays? And this is a fan film based on Friday the 13th. So he's going to play the guy in the mask. Good old Jason.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, since we last did a review on Joshua Kennedy's fan film, it got me thinking of doing more and more, the fan films that I've been mooning over to get their point across.
Yeah, why not? A few fan films instead of doing all the usual A-movies and stuff that you see at the pictures and stuff, at the theatres and stuff everyone knows about. We're going to throw some in there that you don't know about, which could be worth a look.
Quite. Yes. So, who stars in this other than our director friend?
Now, a guy called Drew, I think it's Leighty, Leighty. He plays Kyle McLeod. Now, he's an outdoorsy type guy who likes to do outdoor things alone. He's trekking through the woods and he films it and he puts it online so all his fans can see it. But he does these things alone. That makes a good plot for the storyline, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's quite different from the usual plots around Friday the 13th where you have a group of people and then they get killed off in most weird and horrific ways.
Yeah, and it's quite funny, this one. Before we tell the story, pretty much he finds Crystal Lake Camp. It's been abandoned. And it starts off no trespassing. So he ignores it and goes in, as one would.
Yeah.
And Sarah will take over at the moment. But,
just so you guys know.
But it's only him and Jason in it, really. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, this takes place before Jason X and probably a number of other Friday the 13th movies.
Probably, yeah. It's in there somewhere.
Well, maybe I'll just narrow it down that both Jason X and the one where he goes to New York, those two may not be related to this one.
Well, but Jason X is done in the future, so I don't know. It's probably because Jason X supposedly died in Jason X. Maybe. We don't know where he is.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, anyway, irrespective. Do you want to tell the story?
Yes. So the story takes place in the woods. A hiker, is planning on doing a go pro of him going for the woods and checking out the place.
Yeah, he's gonna do some fast tracking. He's going to be sprinting through the woods there, trying to make from point to point in a very short space of time to show everybody what a real macho man he is.
Yes, and by the time he gets to a fence or barbed wire fence, I should say, where it says keep out, private property.
No trespassing, that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yes, and we know right away this is heading into Jason Voorhees territory.
You would think. No, was it his age? It's supposed to be 20 years after Jason, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was done in 1980.
No, in the movie, I mean.
In the movie,
I mean. It was supposed to be about 20 years later, so... Yeah. And he's not that old, so he probably would not have known about Crystal Lake killing sprees up there, so he would have been too young to know about it. So he was totally ignorant of it until it twigged on him later on, doesn't it?
Yeah, because he mentions much later on in the story that his brother, I imagine, probably may have heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend and heard it from a friend.
Chinese whispers.
May have heard it. It's like an urban legend of sorts.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
That's
instead of newspapers, it's urban legend.
Yes, like the urban legends, like the Hook, the stalker Hook guy you may have heard about, where he hunts and kills people in Honeymoon Lane, or
he had Hook, did he?
Yeah.
On his hand.
Yes. So moving on to the actual story itself. So He heads into Crystal Lake campgrounds. It's got all these little teeny weeny weird strips that's hanging
Yeah,
from
yeah. And
places.
I'm trying to think if they I don't know whether they've been left over from the police investigation when they found dead bodies, or Jason put them up there, say hi, kill somebody, and make his own little
I think it was
trophy
probably
marks.
left. I think it was left by the police or
Yeah, you'd
who.
think so, but
And
it's been a few years. They look pretty new.
yeah, true, true. But most of it does look old. Like there's
Oh,
also
the buildings are.
yeah, you
Yeah,
also notice a Playboy magazine that was left over from the 1980s.
he certainly got that quickly.
Yes, and there was a calendar there that showed the year and month of when it last was
occupied there.
occupied there and
I
stuff.
mean, that's not really good for the kids. Send your kids here and hopefully they'll come back alive. And that's not going to work, is it? No, yeah.
So anyway, he explores a bit the campsite, and he soon sees Pamela Forey's dead remains, and this
Oh,
is where
mummy.
and this is
No,
where
mummy's mummy. Well,
and this is where Jason jumps into action and starts attacking our hiker.
You annoying my mummy. She's having a sleep.
Yes.
His mummy. Looks like a mummy. Well,
Yes, reminds me a little bit of
Does,
Psycho
yeah.
from Norman Bates and stuff.
Mother did it. Ah! No,
Only
no.
different. So anyway, we have a match between Jason and the hiker. He trying to escape one. Well, the hiker tries to escape Mr. Voorhees with little success because Jason is much more stronger and faster, and he has that ability to vanish and appear out of nowhere.
That's never been totally explained, honestly. In every movie I've seen of him in it, it's never explained how he became an immortal.
I have a few ideas, but I won't tell them on
There must
the
be
air.
something in the water Crystal Lake, is it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, soon enough, he eventually tries to fight him, and we get a bit of a almost close enough chance to see him actually beat him at one point, where he sticks an axe into his shoulder,
Yeah.
and while Jason sticks his machete right into his gut.
Oh, in the side of his gut. So he wasn't killed, but he was severely injured, and he thought, "Oh, I got Jason. I got an axe into his neck."
Yes.
And
By the time
yeah.
he gets up, gets his gear, he gets his gear a couple of times throughout this movie. Tries to stitch him up. He has.
Yeah, he does his own sewing up of his wounds. Ew.
Yeah, Mike here
gross.
he's
Oh, I
a bit
have blood. I
squeamish
really-
around blood.
Oh,
so,
I do. If I see too much blood, real blood in the wrong area, I'll just pass out. Yeah. I got to turn my head away sometimes in these movies.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah, you should see him, guys. I often have to be the one who has to tell him when it stops.
And then she cheats sometimes and tells me before it stops, and I get an eyeful of what I'm not supposed to be saying. Yeah.
So
Well, you know,
anyway,
it's not my fault.
eventually he arrives at Crystal Lake, the lake, and it's morning, and we get the final shot of Jason popping out of the water, just like he did in the
Yeah, when
first movie.
Yeah,
and
that's
starts
right.
to attack our hitchhiker.
Yeah, right. Good old Drew. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next minute we think he's done for, but then we flashed forward to a dream that he just woke up in an ambulance of sorts.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if he passed out on the way to the lake or he just who knows? It doesn't
But
explain
anyway,
that much.
irrespective, he does wake up in an ambulance.
Yes. Anyway, we meet
Yeah.
two ambulance people just tending to his wounds.
You're not wrong.
And we get a surprise guest in this scene. What's his name?
Tommy, something.
Thor Matthews.
Yeah, as Tommy Jarvis. Tommy
yeah,
Jarvis.
you may know him in. Let me see.
He's been in another movie.
He was in. Let me see. He was in Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. That one's an interesting one.
Good old Jason.
Yes, and I heard that now they're looking at making a sequel to this, and I think he's going to be on board for that one too.
I think it's going to be a prequel and sequel, isn't there?
I think it's a sequel.
It's going to be part of a web series, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole.
But I think it's going to be a prequel and a sequel or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things going to happen. This, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
want to continue the end of the story before we
yes, I
start talking
will.
about that?
So anyway, our hero he lies in the
Ambulance.
ambulance, and he gets a vision of Jason in the ambulance, and of course the tenants there try to calm him down.
Yeah, the ambos. Yeah.
With little
And
success.
they're finally getting sedated, and then
And then guess what? Jason does come, and he tries to knock out all three of the ambulance people.
and actually what happened? He gets a drive. He got the driver first, dragged him out of the cab,
Yeah,
which is
Tommy.
Tommy, and starts to beat him up. And the male
Axel.
Axel, he's one of the attendants looking at medical guys, is looking after our hero. Gets out there to see what's happened
her
to
name?
Tommy. I can't remember. Robert.
Danny or Doreen.
Well, Alex is Robert.
Yeah, and
Robert Dubois. And anyway, he goes out there to confront whoever's attacking Tommy.
Yeah, but what about there was another tenant that was a girl one.
Okay.
What's her name?
Oh, it's Demi Morgan.
Yeah, Danny
But,
Morgan. She gets killed
not
too.
finished yet. All of a sudden, he's out there, and I can hear, stuff going on like, oh, who's winning? And you don't hear Tommy's voice, and then you see Axel come back,
Yeah.
and he's got blood gushing coming out of his mouth and stuff. He don't look real good. And
Gross.
then along comes Jason, and
he puts a spear. A machete through that poor little lady's gut,
Yeah,
and
well-
he's about to take his final. Kill the hiker, but luckily Tommy jumps back in and says, "Hold on, kid. We're getting on the road."
Tommy drives the ambo away at a pace to get away from the little naughty guy.
And Jason slowly walks in the distance in his usual stride.
He never runs, this guy, does he?
No, he's
How
not.
does he catch all these people? I don't know. I'm really weird.
I think of him as the apex predator,
Yeah, but you think in all the shows,
patient and
everyone's running
not-
away from him, and he's always there. He must have twins or triplets or something or other.
So, do you want to get down to the nitty gritty?
Oh no, I don't agree too gritty on it at the moment. I know, that's a bit gritty.
Well,
that
what
goes
was
back to the 70s or
Well,
60s. Yeah.
the analyzing this
Oh, yeah. Well,
movie.
I'm going to have a look at a few things I got here. Now, Never Hike Alone is a short movie. They only fit about 54 minutes long. It's a fan-based film, as we said, by Womp Stomp Films. Okay, it was released in 2017, like we said, on YouTube, and we believe it's gained over 1 million viewers. Now, for those of you who count the numbers, that's an awful lot of visits to YouTube. So it must be good. We think it's okay.
Yeah, as I said before, that they're creating. I'm not sure if Mike is correct about whether they're going to be doing any prequels to this, but I have heard they're doing several sequels out of Never Hike Alone.
No, I think it's, and they're going to do a
one
prequel.
of them that I can confirm to you guys is let me see, it's Never Hike in the Snow. That's confirmed, and they're probably working on it as I speak, maybe.
As we
Or
speak.
maybe not. They're probably in lockdown.
They're probably
at the
snowed
moment, and they're not going to do it until after this thing goes
You
away.
settle down a little bit, so people can be free to actually work on things. Yeah.
Yeah, the other stuff, I'm not sure if they're going to come into play because I went on there and there was not too much information on the other
It's hard to get
movies.
information sometimes. I mean, most people actually put a bit more out there, so it's really hard to figure out what's going on in some cases.
Yes.
But in any event, and I do believe there is going to be a prequel and 3 sequels. Okay, so they're taking this seriously, and if the other ones are going to be as good as this one, I think we're all in for a treat. Vincent DeSanti, he's a good filmmaker.
And this movie is one of the best recognized version of Friday the 13th fan movies
I
out
read it
there.
somewhere. Yeah.
So it's pretty much worth seeing and worth checking out.
I mean,
guys.
there's a lot of crappy. I mean, I'm not saying crappy. I mean, it depends on what your budget is and what you got to work with. But I don't know what his budget was in this. But whatever budget he had, he's used well. I mean, the end products come out really good. It's quite watchable.
Great.
Whoever did the camera work, very good camera shots, perspectives, everything else. Everything comes together like a good A-grade movie.
Yeah, so we both agree this is worth seeing, guys, and we highly recommend you go watch it.
I think it's excellent. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the
And
other
it's
ones.
different
Yeah.
from the usual group campers in who just sit around and and
Ella
just get
come
killed
by,
off.
yeah,
And just get
and someone
killed
comes around the back
and
and kills
just
them all. Yeah,
kills them all. Or not kills them all, just kills them one by one. This is dealing with one-on-one killing or one-on-one fighting.
Hey, and here's something really strange.
Ooh.
There's no sex in this. There's no drugs in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a lot of violence in it. When you think he's just one after the other, and they do, they attack each other a couple of times, but
Yeah.
it all works in really good without all the other trappings.
Yeah, and the good thing about this is it has some interesting scenes and shots and stuff like that.
Does that really look like the old Crystal Lake buildings they used in the original movies?
Well,
I don't know.
I haven't looked
Yeah.
at the old movie, but I'll definitely check it
I
out.
must have a look at that because if it's a real location next to a lake, and it may be the same place.
Yeah, well, maybe not, because I read, I looked on
Did
their
I?
Facebook page and I saw a lot of people building the actual
Oh, they built some of that.
buildings.
Oh, okay.
So
That
it's
was
not
good
the
for a lot
same
of money.
place.
Nah,
it's,
okay.
it's probably not even the same location.
No, okay. It was a nice lake. Yeah. But okay, so it's in different buildings. Okay. Now you've answered my question. There
But I
you go.
imagine they recreated the buildings from scratch.
And they made it look pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so hats
and
off to them.
dingy because obviously the place has been run down for 20 or 30 years or something. 20 years, yeah. And yeah, so they look grotty and abandoned and stuff and all those other good groovy things that you would expect.
So do you want to review
rate it?
voted now?
Okay, now, as I said in previous podcasts, I do not do my ratings basing everything on the same guidelines. Now, this is an independent fan-based film, and I'll grade it in that sort of category. I will not compare it in the grading to an A-grade movie. Now, this here, it meets all the requirements. It's a good storyline. The acting's not too bad, but I mean, even if Jason doesn't talk, his presence is felt. He does the original Jason.
Well, I can't remember the original Jason, but I know that
He's very similar. He takes him off quite well.
I know Kane Hodder did a few of the ones
That's
much
right,
later on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The guy, Vincent, he took on the personality of Jason quite well.
Yeah, I think there was a
Yeah.
stunt double who assisted
yeah,
for the hard bits.
For the hard bits, yeah. But yeah, when he's stomping around doing all the body movements, he must have watched a lot of these movies. And Drew did his bit. And he was quite believable, outdoorsy type. He didn't look like me. I'm about 30 kilos overweight. No, everything came together really good. So I'm going to rate this at a 9.5. That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate this 9.5 too, because I don't like camcorder movies, but this had a good
Had a
mixture of GoPro camera stuff and a mixture of cinematic filming.
It wasn't all handheld like some people just go over the top of handheld.
Yeah.
Which really drives me batty. Because it worked in one movie doesn't mean it's going to work in the next movie.
Yeah, I wasn't completely fond of Blair Witch Project or...
But they started that. They did the first
it started that.
found footage sort of thing. And other people will do that. It's really cheap to make them that way. Yeah, cheap doesn't necessarily mean good, guys.
Yeah, but I'm not knocking you guys doing it this way, guys.
No, he did some GoPro stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be talking to his camera, doing some film footage for a weblog.
As we often discuss in this podcast, we're all about quantity versus quality.
Quality. Yeah, we like to look at quality in everything, and we try not to bag anybody. We're not troll like here. We call it as we see it.
I mean, it's pretty good how you guys did it, and I'm impressed with it.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And if they actually built those sets, those buildings and stuff, that's a big outlay risk on a fan-based film. They're all really committed people.
I agree.
And there were also, I think he went to Indiegogo on different things, and I think I read somewhere they had to go on Indiegogo and get
Funding, yeah.
funding and to some other place I went to, and I think there's a list of I saw on the credits
Well,
a
we did
list of other
see.
people who contributed. So yeah,
Well, we did see a GoPro that he's been using throughout this movie. So,
they might have gave a few dollars.
so product placement, people.
I didn't see a bottle of Coca-Cola there anywhere.
I saw Playboy. Does that mean Playboy was involved?
Hugh Hefner's crowd might have gave him a few bucks.
Just kidding.
Well, you never know. No, if you do product placement in a movie, I mean, you could. If we use an Apple computer or something rather, and see there, so you see the Apple thing, you might be able to get a few dollars from by advertising their product. So yeah, anything happens. Yeah.
Quite right. Yeah. So this is So if you guys like to check out Never Hike Alone, you'll be in for a fun ride watching it.
Well,
so.
we think it's good. Now the point is that, like I said, if you're into these sorts of movies, if you're into A grade A movies, yeah, well, give it a go anyway because you might be surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to us today.
Well,
Tonight.
it's going to be another short one because there's not much to talk about on this because it's just a one-on-one really.
Yeah, true. And there's some interesting stuff here that you might definitely enjoy.
And we don't want to do too many spoilers, do we?
Well,
we want you to actually watch it. Hey,
well,
now,
we're a spoiler zone.
we can do the odd spoiler here and there and something's been around for a while. This is a reasonably new movie, 2017. Yeah. So we'd like you to actually watch it and have a look and give us your opinion maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I like a set of new opinions about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks for listening to this latest podcast. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying, see you guys around.
Bye, guys.